In today's episode of the Pathmark Presents podcast, I got a very interesting guest here with me today. I'm with Annette Palmieri, and she's hailing over from the folks over at B. And B is doing something very interesting. They allow you to create beautiful emails and landing pages pretty fast. So it's an easy drag and drop editor for designing those experiences on emails and landing pages. So today we want to learn from Annette how she's thinking about growth for the company, and also we want to deep dive into PQLS a little bit. A lot of you guys have been asking us about it because more of the companies are moving into product-led growth. So we're going to see how you guys thinking about this and what Annette was experiencing in defining PQLS for B. So welcome to the show.
Thank you, Lucas. I'm Annette Palmieri, and currently I work as a marketing programs manager for B Content Design, but I'm moving into the growth team because I started my path last year, starting from a master at the Cornell University. So now I'm working on some project to move on with our growth strategy. Let me introduce B very quickly. We make collaborative content design easy for everyone. Our mission is to democratize the content design. So our ambitious goal is to be the best email editor. B stands for best email editor. Since then, we've added support for designing landing pages and pop-ups too. So we started only with emails, and then we added the landing pages and the pop-ups. We have two products, B Pro and B Plugin, that you can explore on our website, bfree.io. And our frequency users include everyone from marketing professionals and the design team to HR departments and fast-growing digital agencies. And this is not so easy to manage when you are working on a growth strategy. And we are going to explore this during our conversation.
Okay, yeah, no, very cool. So maybe tell us a little bit about who would be sort of the main user of B? Is there like a typical use case? Is that sort of, an agency user? Is that typically, in-house marketers? Is that, freelancers? Maybe tell us about who's leveraging the platform usually.
So our users include everyone from marketing professional to design team, as I said, but even all the department in a big company. Because B can be the central design system, because you can design into B and you can export to your ESP, but you can also export and copy the HTML. For example, here at B, all the company uses B. The sales team is exporting to HubSpot. The CX team is creating pages into B Pro and copying the HTML into Zendesk. I'm using B and I copy the HTML into Livestorm for the webinars, for example. Then we export to our ESP mail app. So basically everyone can use B and can be useful for everyone. We believe in a product-led growth strategy. So letting people quickly experience the core value of our product. That's why we have a free plan. You can simply register, no credit card required, and you can use all the tool. And generating revenues from a larger company where we spread from the bottom up.
Okay, so I see. Now, how would you say do people discover it? I mean, I understand you're saying it's a product-led growth strategy. How do they discover B? Like, what's their journey? What's the channels that they go through in order to get started?
Okay, so we work on a lot of channels. For example, we work a lot with our blog, so emaildesign.bfree.io. So we have an SEO strategy that is always on during all the year. Then we have socials, especially LinkedIn and Instagram, because on LinkedIn we can reach a specific audience, and on Instagram we can reach another audience. Then we run ads on Google. This is one of the main channels. Then we are always present to the conferences that matter for us. Then we have webinars, so you can join the webinar and you enter into a specific nurture for that list. Our main channel to communicate is the email, for sure. We have a large mailing list, more than one. We segment the list to communicate with the customers and prospects. So basically, less or more, we use all the digital channel that we can use.
I mean, I'm very curious to ask you the next question, because obviously you guys are building landing pages all day long. So how do you think about the website, like BeFree.io? Like what role does it play in their journey of getting started? And you know, what do you think about it? Like what's the sort of its core functionality?
So for us, the website is like the central point, because there we have all the information about the product. We have our testimonials that can talk for us. And also it's like our business card, because a lot of pages on our website are built with BPro. Because we want to show that we are using BPro always as first is our mantra. For example, all the case studies on the website are built with the BPro, and then we integrated the HTML of WordPress. Also, some pages for the connectors, for example, the HubSpot one is built with BPro, and we are going to build all the pages with BPro. And also our website dedicated to BPlugin, the other product that we sell, is entirely built with BPro. The website is developers.befree.io. So the website for us is really central in our strategy, because the path of our customer or users always start from there. Yep. In fact, when we work on the customer journey, for example, we start from the website and the two main buttons that can lead users into the product, because you can lead into the product from the start designing or from the login. So we start differentiating the path of the users from these two buttons. Yep,
that makes a lot of sense. Now, as a marketer, I'm sure you're always very critical with the website at the same time, right? Well, we have had every marketer pretty much on the show. There was always something that they wanted to change or improve. Like, you know, how do you think about the page? Like, what is its sort of strength versus where do you see room for further improvement?
So currently I'm leading a big project of UX, so I'm very sensitive to this subject, because, for example, we are reviewing our entire template catalog and the navigation of the website, so I can feel you on this topic. You mean in building the pages into BPro or in general?
Just your website, just BeFree.io, like kind of like where do you feel there's even more room for further improvements?
Okay, so I think that we can for sure improve the navigation, the internal navigation of our website, because the core value of the website, as I was saying, is the template catalog. And that's why we are working on that one, because we show the real value of BPro. We have a very large template catalog, the largest that you can find on the market. So we need to build a strong strategy for that. We need to build a strong identity for that part, because the users want the template to start working into BPro. And we need to lead them from the home page to the template catalog in the easiest way. Now we see that, okay, they know how to go into the template catalog, but it's not so simple for them. So we wanted to make this process really smooth.
Okay, no, that makes a whole lot of sense. What I would like to do is basically talk a little bit about PQLS with you. And we had a quick pre-chat before the interview, and I think you mentioned that it's been a very important topic for you guys, and we're getting more and more email questions on, you know, listeners asking us if they can show more examples, if we can show more examples on PQL definition, because it's, you know, defining a PQL is obviously a big leap. Like, what is actually the metric that is important? Maybe can you walk with us through that sort of process, you know,
Yeah.
why you wanted to start measuring PQLs, how you came to be, and what was sort of a way to a conclusion?
Okay. So we struggled a lot with the PQLs. So I'm very happy to talk about this if I can help someone, because I would I would have found some explanation online about this topic. So we started in January 2022, and we are almost close to an end now. So it's a very long process, even because it was the very first time for the company. Basically, we started to work on this project because we need to work closely with the sales team, helping them to spend their time in a better way. So not having useless meetings with people that don't want to buy at all.
Yeah.
So the main topic is this. So we wanted to identify different segments of qualified leads, because, for example, we are working on two main segments. One is users that can be contacted by the sales team, because they can be an enterprise customer, and users that can go from a free plan to a team plan by themselves, for example, with an automation via in-app or via email with some content. So we are working on these two segments. And basically, we started to look at the behavior of the users when they enter into the product. Then in April, we went live with the free plan. So everything changed, and we needed to start again all the work. But at that point, it was pretty clear. So we use Pendo as tool for the product usage. And we integrated the Pendo with all the other tools that we have for the tracking. So, for example, with Google Analytics, for the data from the website, with HubSpot to have the demographic data from our customers. And we started to look what they do in the first 14 days when they enter into the product. Why we are starting to look to the first 14 days? Because in B, you can start a trial, and the trial can be long only 14 days. That's why we are looking at this period. From that, we identified the main actions that they do into the product. For example, the export is a really big feature that they use. It's an important action, because when you export a message, you completed your task. You use B to export the message. Then we start looking at, for example, how many users they add in the average, and when they start adding the users, because in B you can collaborate, and to collaborate you need to add your users. Then after this, we knew the average of how many times they do a specific action, and after how many days they do this action. This is the first point. Then the other question is, but who is doing this? And so we started to work on the demographic part. And now we know that when they are on the free plan, if they do, for example, 31 export in 14 days, we know that they will for sure buy a team plan.
That makes
because
sense.
We know that in the average, they do this.
Yeah.
So this is the work that we did. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. And what would you recommend to a marketer that is joining a product-led company, and where now the question arises, hey, we need to identify PQLs and measure, like what's maybe the 3 top advice pieces you would give them?
So the first one is to know exactly what are the main actions that matter for the company and that are important for the users too, because it's a match, you know. For us, the export is important, but even for our users is the core action. So the first one is to identify the action that the users need to do to complete a task in the product. Then the other one is focus on the target, because at the beginning we started to look at the general behavior, and this is not right. This was the big mistake we did, because you need to focus on a specific segment and see if that behavior can be applied even to other type of users.
And in your case, that was the free users, is that correct? Or was there further differentiation?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because at the beginning, I started to look at everyone behavior.
Gotcha.
But when you are on a free plan, you have a specific behavior. When you are on a team plan, you have another behavior.
Of course.
So if I started to work on these two paths in different ways, maybe it would be better. But I was wrong, so I started again.
Cool.
And then the third one is to involve all the company, because, for example, at a certain time, I needed the help from the sales team, because they talk every day with the customers, and they have the feedback from the customers by talking, and it's something that I can't find into the tools.
Yeah, super interesting, Annette. I mean, we talked about what you guys are doing. We talked about growth, and now we did a deep dive into PQLS. I mean, that was super interesting. I think very helpful for you know, a lot of folks that are listening in. I want to wrap it up with my last question. Right? I would love to go back to sort of maybe the day that you joined, right, at B. Like, what would be the one advice that you would give yourself when rejoining B today? Like, what's the one piece of advice you would give yourself?
So I joined B as a marketing programs manager because I've always been passionate about marketing. And at the beginning, I was like super happy, super excited. So I started to work on everything in the marketing team. So I had an eye on socials, on emails, on content, on blog, and on all the things. And this is not so good, because you need to focus on certain verticals. And then after a few months, I understood that I wanted to grow into the growth team. And it's been not so easy, because I had not a clear focus before. So have always clear what you want to do and work on that path.
Annette, I really want to appreciate you joining us for the Pathmark Presents show today. I want to give you the very last words. If somebody would be forgetting all that we discussed about B, what's the one thing that people should remember?
About B? I think that using B, not because I'm working here, I was using B 4 years before I started to join B. Because it's a really complete tool that can make your life as a marketer very easy. Even if you don't have any design skill, even if you don't have any coding skill, you can easily use B. So your life can be so easy, your work can be very, very quick.
Annette, appreciate you joining us for the Pathmark Presents podcast. Thanks a lot for being a guest of today's episode.
Thank you for your time and for listening.